French and looking to qualify as a solicitor of England and Wales, in which case this video is for you. My name is Ingemar Hunnings. I am the lead consultant at HCL, a management consultancy helping businesses in the legal services sector with running their business, compliance systems, and we do a lot of work working with people wanting to qualify as solicitors of England and Wales through the SQE route. We act as external confirming solicitors for qualifying work experience. We also help people who are already qualified as lawyers with their application for exemption from the SQE2 exam. So I'm now going to share my screen, and I'm going to run through the 4 elements that you need to have to qualify as a solicitor of England and Wales through the SQE route. I'm going to run through them. Then I'm going to go through them in a bit more detail. Then I'll look at the exemptions that might be available to you. So you have to have a degree or degree equivalent. You need to pass the exams, the SQE1 and the SQE2. You need to have a minimum of 2 years full-time equivalent qualifying work experience confirmed to the SRA by a solicitor, an SRA regulated solicitor or a COLP. And then you do need to prove your identity and pass the criminal records checks. Okay, so let's go through those elements with a little more detail. You need to have a degree or degree equivalent. So you don't actually need to have a law degree. That's not required. And indeed, you could actually proceed without having a degree at all. But it needs to be a degree equivalent. And I think the SRA uses a company called ENIC to check the equivalency. So if you're using a training provider that says you need to do a converter course, please note that is not a requirement of the SRA. That's just a requirement of the training provider. The exams. There's the SQE1 and the SQE2. The SQE1 exam tests your legal knowledge. It's made up of 2 elements, the FLK1 and the FLK2, functioning legal knowledge. These exams are tough. Roughly about 55% of the people who sit the SQE1 pass. It's a multiple choice exam. Each question has I believe has 4 potential answers, which more than one of which could be correct. It's also tough time-wise, so you need to manage your time really well to be able to get through all the questions. So that's the SQE1. You can only apply to sit the SQE2 if you have passed the SQE1 or if you've been exempted from the SQE1, and I'll cover exemptions a little bit later. The SQE2 exam is testing both your knowledge and your application of that knowledge in real life scenarios. It's the SRA having a look at you as if you were a newly qualified solicitor. Would you be a safe pair of hands? Would it be safe for them to license you to practice? So the SQE2 is made up of 16 questions, 12 are written and 4 are oral. Now then, the written questions of the SQE2 and the SQE1 all can be sat in the Pearson View centres. Now, those centres are outside of the UK as well as inside, so I don't know, but there might be one in France, so you don't need to travel to the UK to sit the SQE1 or the written part of the SQE2 exams. At the time of recording this video, which is April 2026, you still have to travel to the UK to sit the oral parts of the SQE2 exam. I think it's in London, Manchester or Cardiff that you have to go, but things might change by the time you sit the exams. So that's the exams. Of the SQE2, people who sit the SQE2, roughly about 77% pass. So that might indicate that they're easier, but do remember that that's a filtered group that's sitting the SQE2 because you can't sit the SQE2 unless you have passed the SQE1 or been exempted from the SQE1. Okay. Qualifying work experience. So you need to have 2 years or more full-time equivalent qualifying work experience confirmed to the SRA by an SRA regulated solicitor. So what is full-time? The SRA regards full-time as being a minimum of 32 hours a week. And they said full-time equivalent to be as flexible as they can. So you could be working part-time for a longer period, but it accumulates to the 2 years full-time equivalent, or indeed part of your job could be qualifying work experience. So it allows for that flexibility. What is qualifying work experience? It is the provision of legal services. The SRA goes on to say that it does not have to be done in a law firm. It does not have to be done in England and Wales. It does not have to be done in English and Welsh law. It could be voluntary, like in a charity, unpaid work. You can reach back in time as far as you want for your QWE, and you can use an external solicitor to confirm your qualifying work experience. So, for example, you're working in a company which doesn't have an SRA regulated solicitor to do that confirmation. Many of the people we help are working in-house in companies, providing legal services as in-house legal. That would be perfectly fine. I would say just over half of the people we help are doing that. So we do help people acting as external confirming solicitors. It's something we've helped with since before the SQE came in. And we worked closely with the SRA to work out what process might meet their requirements. At the time of recording this video, we have confirmed the QWE of 190 people from all over the world, including some people from France. Let me bring onto screen this page from our website, where you can see that we talk about the external confirming solicitor service for QWE that we provide. There's information on here. Now, if and when I am on the SRA website confirming someone's QWE, the SRA requires me to do more than if you were just working in my law firm. They require me to confirm that I have reviewed your work, which means seen your work, and that I have got feedback from your supervisor. So your supervisor doesn't need to be a lawyer. They just need to be someone who has supervised your work. And I do that via a Zoom call usually. Reviewing your work, again, I would do that via a Zoom call with you sharing your screen. So the work is never sent to me. I don't want it on our systems for obvious data protection, confidentiality reasons. Also, I'm fine if you redact what confidential information, and we're happy to sign a non-disclosure agreement. So usually we will offer a free, no obligation Zoom to check whether it's appropriate for us to act and to run through what the process is. So if that is of interest, then please fill in the form that's on the website, or you could email me. Please don't write to me. Please don't phone me, because more than likely I won't be able to pick up the call because I'll be in a meeting, and then I don't have any audit trail as to who's called me about what. So writing is far, far better. By the way, if I am reviewing your work and it's in French, I do have some French, but I will want to see a translation as well, which can be Google Translate or your own translation. That's absolutely fine. Okay, that's the QWE. Proving your identity, criminal records checks. Well, criminal records checks is however you get the criminal records, wherever you are currently. Proving your identity, we do have a small service on here to assist with that if there's no solicitor who can do that for you. The SRA uses a company called Atlantic Data for this. So there you go, a bit of assistance there. Right. Now let's have a look at exemptions. You cannot be exempted from the degree or degree equivalent requirement. Exams. So in reality, the only way you're going to get an exemption from the SQE1 exam is if you have sat the old LPC exam. That's the old route to qualification, and you passed it. And so we're in a transition period where the SRA will allow you to submit a copy or evidence of your pass of the SQE1, and they will then grant you an exemption from the SQE, sorry, it's the LPC pass you can submit evidence of, and then they'll grant you an exemption from the SQE1 exam. Okay. If you're a qualified lawyer, and only if you're a qualified lawyer, can you apply for an exemption from the SQE2 exam. The SRA seems not to want to grant exemption from both exams. So if you're a qualified lawyer and you happen to have passed the old LPC route, which will be a very small proportion of people, but then you have a choice, SQE1 or SQE2. What about exemption from the QWE? Well, it is possible, but it depends upon a number of factors. So let me run through these. If you apply for an exemption from the SQE1 and you're not qualified, well, it's easier to say, if you're not qualified as a lawyer, you cannot be exempted from the QWE requirement. You have to have that confirmed. If you are a qualified lawyer and you apply for exemption from the SQE1 because you got that LPC pass, you will have to sit the SQE2 exam and you will have to get your QWE confirmed. If you're a qualified lawyer and you sit and pass the SQE1 and apply for exemption from the SQE2, of course, if you sit the SQE2 as well, but if you're a qualified lawyer and you're sitting the SQE1, you will then be automatically exempted from the QWE. So you may want to listen to that bit again just to clarify the alternatives there and how that affects the QWE. Now, it is possible for you, if you are qualified as a French avocat, to apply for exemption from the SQE2 exam. And I'll now move on to explain about that. By the way, you cannot get exemption from proving your identity in the criminal records checks. Right, okay, so I'm going to bring up here on screen the page from the SRA website about making an application for exemption from the SQE2 exam if you are a French avocat. So you do not have a pre-agreed exemption from the SQE2 exam. It's called an agreed exemption. You do not have that, but you can apply for an individual SQE2 exemption. If that's going to be successful, as well as completing the form and paying the SRA fee of £265, you will need to submit evidence of your professional qualification, and the easiest is to submit a copy of your admission certificate. You will also need to submit a letter of reference from someone who directly supervised your legal work for at least 6 months after qualification. So you need to have at least 6 months legal work experience post-qualification, which is evidenced by a letter of reference, okay? And the person signing the letter of reference, which you probably will draft for them, needs to be someone who directly supervised your work. The legal work experience, by the way, the definition of that is different from qualifying work experience, so please don't get mixed up between the two. It needs to be post-qualification. Okay, and if it's not work as a French avocat, it needs to be at least to the level of your qualifications. So if you were doing 6 months legal post-qualification legal work experience in England as a paralegal, that won't be good enough. Okay. So who can you get to do the letter of reference? Someone who directly supervised your work, and you'll have to explain what the methods were for that supervision. If they are qualified as a lawyer, then you will also need to submit proof of their qualification, like their admission certificate. If they are not qualified as a lawyer, but they are qualified as a professional, like an accountant, then you would need to explain how they were suitable for supervising your legal work and also provide proof of their qualification, like an admission certificate or other proof that they may be able to give you. If they're not qualified as a lawyer or a professional, then obviously there's no proof of qualification that you can submit, but you will still, in the letter of reference, have to explain how they were suitable for supervising your legal work. Right, okay. Now, the letter of reference has various technical things that need to be included. So we do have a service helping foreign qualified lawyers with drafting the application and the letter of reference. All the information is here on the website, guidance, and you can download the form. The service has a nominal fee that we charge for it of £250 plus VAT if you're in the UK. So we provide you with a simple draft letter of reference and a guidance note. We'll look over your and review your draft letter of reference. We'll guide you on any improvements that need to be made. We'll look at your draft application form, remind you what you need to submit. Now, filling in the form itself, I'll bring the form up if I can find it. There we go. This is the application form. So you'll fill in section 1, who you are, section 2, where you're qualified. I believe that a French avocat can say yes to all of these practice areas. Your qualification gives you all of these practice rights, so that's good. Yes to all of those. Section 3 about ethics you'd fill in, and then you'd fill in section 4B. Okay, not 4A, you don't have an agreed exemption. 4B with the name of the organization where you've done your post-qualification 6 months legal work experience. If it's more than one organization, then you just have to fight with the form to try and get the wording in there. Then you'll fill in that you'll tick the box that says SQE2 exemption. You do not need to fill in sections 5 or 6, which is great news. You get to section 7. Okay, let's drag this down a bit further. There we go. And you'll be filling in 7C because the SRA is taking into account 18 months of legal work experience that you have to do as part of your qualification, and it's proved by your qualification as an avocat, and then 6 months post-qualification experience. So that's why 7C is relevant. You do not need to fill in section 8. Okay, so a reminder that if you want to get in touch with us, please do fill in the form from our website or email me. A reminder also that we have a YouTube channel. You might be watching this on YouTube. Please do subscribe, let other people know. The videos with the pink or red thumbnails are all to do with the SQE, QWE and exemptions. Lots of information for people there. It's a resource. Please do let people know. Hopefully that will be of help to them. So I wish you all the best. Good luck. And please do get in touch if you feel that we can help you. All the best. Goodbye.